Dear friends, good morning. Welcome to the 13th day of fasting. My name is Amy Brooks, and I'm so happy to be with you this morning. I'm sending my love from the beautiful Cowichan Valley on Vancouver Island in the west coast of Canada. The quality that we will be learning about together this morning is knowledge. I would like to read you a quote by Baha'u'llah on this theme. O my servants, were ye to discover the hidden, the shoreless oceans of my incorruptible wealth, ye would of a certainty esteem as nothing the world, nay, the entire creation. Let the flame of search burn with such fierceness within your hearts as to enable you to attain your supreme and most exalted goal, the station at which ye can draw nigh unto and be united with your best beloved. Dear friends, I would like to share with you the story of Emogene Hoagg. I hope you will enjoy it.
Emogene was born on September 27, 1869, to a life steeped in spiritual inquiry. From her earliest days, she was drawn to religious devotion, but as she grew, her questions deepened, shaking the foundations of her inherited faith. Why, she wondered, would a God of infinite love favor only Christians? These questions were the stirrings of a soul seeking universal truths. Her faith was shaken by these inner promptings, and she began thinking of herself as an agnostic. At 18, she went away to school to San Francisco, where she entered the Irving Institute, a fashionable seminary for young ladies, and studied voice and languages. In 1889, she married John Ketchy Hoagg, a partnership that would quietly support her remarkable destiny. Emogene persuaded her husband to allow her to accompany a family friend to Milan and to continue her voice studies in Italy for a year. It was upon her return home in 1898, while on a visit to Mrs. Phoebe Hearst in Northern California, that Emogene found the answer to all her early religious questionings. Lua and Edward Getzinger were also guests in the Hearst home. It was through them that she learned of the coming of the new messenger for this day and became the first confirmed believer in California. She was one of the fortunate souls, she said, who could recognize the truth instantly and accept it wholly. From that moment, she directed her every thought and activity for the rest of her life to that magnificent cause. While John, her husband's formal affiliation with the faith is unrecorded, his unwavering moral and financial support enabled her extraordinary journey. Abdu'l-Baha affectionately referred to him as his son-in-law, honoring his steadfast role as Emogene's companion in service. In 1898, not long after embracing the Baha'i faith, Emogene returned to Italy, a land she knew and loved, to share the message she now carried in her heart. Over the years, she would tirelessly return, teaching, translating, and disseminating Baha'i writings with unwavering dedication. In November 1900, Emogene embarked on a life-altering pilgrimage to the Holy Land, where she basked in the presence of Abdu'l-Baha. Here, she committed herself to learning the faith directly from its source, immersing herself in the Master's teachings to dispel the misconceptions that often arose in the early Baha'i community. At Abdu'l-Baha's request, she traveled to Port Said to study under the renowned scholar Mirza Abul Fazl. Her month of daily instruction equipped her to return to America and Europe as a beacon of knowledge, ensuring the purity of the faith's teachings. During Abdu'l-Baha's visit to the United States in 1912, Emogene seized every opportunity to travel with him, absorbing his wisdom and presence. When he departed, her longing for proximity to the Master drew her back to the Holy Land, where she spent over 10 months with him and his household. Stricken with illness upon her arrival, she sought a remedy from Abdu'l-Baha. He sent her 2 baked apples, instructing her to eat them entirely. Emogene obeyed without question, even consuming the seeds. By morning, she awoke completely healed, a testament to her faith and his loving care. The years 1918 and 1919 were turning points in Emogene's life. After her husband's passing in 1918, she sold all her possessions, dedicating her resources entirely to the faith. In 1919, the unveiling of the tablets of the divine plan ignited in her an even deeper commitment. These tablets became her personal charter, guiding her work until her final breath in 1945. In the 8 months following the unveiling of the tablets of the divine plan, Emogene traveled an astonishing 6,000 miles to teach the Baha'i faith in Alaska, accompanied for much of the journey by the indomitable Marian Jack. This was no mere expedition. It was a spiritual odyssey. Alaska's vast, untamed landscapes became the backdrop for her tireless efforts to share the message of unity and hope. Yet, her journey did not end there. She pressed forward, traveling across America, Europe, and repeatedly to the Holy Land, driven by an unrelenting passion to teach and deepen her understanding of the faith. Emogene was present for the momentous reading of the Will and Testament of Abdu'l-Baha. With unwavering faith, she pledged her allegiance to Shoghi Effendi, the newly appointed 24-year-old guardian. She became one of the stalwart Baha'is summoned to the Holy Land to consult with Shoghi Effendi on the future direction of the faith. In 1928, Emogene was asked to relocate from Italy to Geneva to manage the International Baha'i Bureau, a precursor to the Baha'i international community. The following year, the Bureau was officially recognized by the League of Nations. One of her colleagues at the Bureau, reflecting on Emogene's mentorship, described her transformative leadership. At that time, both Miss Lentz and I were new to the spirit of the cause and unused to teamwork. Mrs. Hoagg trained us both. In looking back now, I realize how wise she was and what a difficult material we were. She made us shed, one by one, our personal habits and prejudices. By the time she left, we were united as one soul in our common purpose to serve the cause with complete disregard to ourselves. The final decade of her life was no less extraordinary. From 1935 to 1945, Emogene devoted herself to teaching and conducting courses of unparalleled depth and breadth. These courses, which drew directly from the writings of the central figures and the Guardian, reflected her humility and dedication. She sought to minimize her own voice and let the sacred words speak for themselves. At the age of 73, undeterred by age or the limits of her body, Emogene taught herself Spanish and pioneered to Cuba, her final international pioneering post. It was her response to the call for Baha'i teachers to spread the faith in Latin America. In 1945, in South Carolina, Emogene's earthly life came to a close, surrounded by love and devotion. Emogene Hoagg's life was a symphony of faith, sacrifice, and service. She journeyed across continents, gave all she possessed, and left behind a legacy of love and dedication that continues to inspire. Hers was a life lived for the highest purpose, a life illuminated by the light of her belief and the radiance of her deeds. Let me know if you need any further modifications.
Dear friends, I am so grateful to have spent this morning on the 13th day of fasting together with my dear friends. My wish for you is that in the coming year, divine assistance and aid from on high will so surround you that the effects thereof will be beyond description.
Che ognuno di voi concentri i suoi pensieri sull'amore e sull'unità. Quando un pensiero di guerra pensieri, concentri i suoi pensieri sull'amore e sull'unità. Che ognuno di voi concentri i suoi pensieri, concentri i suoi pensieri sull'amore e sull'unità. Sorge nella vostra mente. Contrastatelo con un più forte pensiero. Concentri i suoi pensieri sull'amore e sull'unità. Che ognuno di voi concentri i suoi pensieri, concentri i suoi pensieri sull'amore e sull'unità. Che ognuno di voi concentri i suoi pensieri, concentri i suoi pensieri sull'amore e sull'unità. Che ognuno di voi concentri i suoi pensieri, concentri i suoi pensieri sull'amore e sull'unità. Che ognuno di voi concentri i suoi pensieri, concentri i suoi pensieri sull'amore e sull'unità.